to not really take a side, but just to present it as it is, which was, it was tough.
Sure.
But it's okay. I don't want to alienate anyone. I want to actually bring everybody to the table on this issue, and just try to just present facts, as many facts as you can present in a fiction book. But so that was very important to me, because even though, again, it is a work of fiction, I based my research on nonfiction sources. So.
Well, and that was what makes a good fiction book, that is for sure. So now your main character also suffers from PTSD. And did you actually do some research into post-traumatic stress disorder?
I did, and I formally talked to people about this. I mean, it's kind of hard to, maybe because it's my first book, I didn't feel like going to someone and say, well, so I'm writing this book, tell me what happened to you, because, I think these are very personal things, and I didn't want to, trivialize them or treat them like, just another part of the research. I didn't want to be cold about it. Mm-hmm. But I've known people who had it, no, they don't have it anymore, but who had it and who had gone through it, and I use sort of their stories in a way to inform, how Eric will deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. But the other thing that really sort of endeared me to do this was how little it is spoken in the media or anywhere about the. This is a huge problem. I mean, this is a different circumstances, right? But since the Vietnam War, we haven't really talked much about it.
That's right.
And but this is a whole different world. I mean, back then they were all draftees. This is now a volunteer army. Yeah. So you have a whole generation of young American soldiers who have been fighting essentially 2 wars for about 10 years, and who are coming back from these experiences. And we're talking about multiple deployments. We're talking about stop-loss policies. We're talking about people who, they have extended the term of service too. I mean, they have forced them to deploy again. It's a very different proposition from just being a draftee, not to diminish what they went through.
Right,
but,
of course.
Serving your tour of duty, seeing all these horrible things, coming back home, but, at least then they send someone else. It's not you four different, 4 times in a row or something like that. And, I just watched a documentary on TV about a few days ago. I think it was called Soldiers in Prison, that dealt about that, and it was the first time I actually saw something out there talking about this, and showing how you have all these suicides, and you have all of these people going to prison because of this, because they have a flashback or they have an episode in which their post-traumatic stress disorder kicks in, and some of these people are dangerous people, not because they're dangerous themselves, but the training they have undergone, it makes them, pretty lethal people. And it's funny to me, or not funny, interesting how the military teaches people how to fight, how to essentially kill, but they don't teach them how to come back to society. They're once they're done with them, that's it. You go back to, whatever life you can make for yourself. David Morrell's First Blood, I think, it's a book that deals with that. Having this one guy, Rambo, who the guy from the book is very different from the guy in the movie. Who goes, fights, learns all these, lethal techniques, and then, see you later. Thank you.
Yeah. And, 9/11, after 9/11, there was a lot of PTSD also that emerged. I had a friend that actually came out of the subway. Mm-hmm. and he worked right there, right close to the twin buildings, Twin Towers, and he came out of the subway just as the second plane was hitting. And he immediately turned around and started running, and, he was just never the same, and several years later he did commit suicide. It was just something that, just really triggered him, and he had PTSD. And
yeah, it's not only related to the military.
Exactly. There's just so many things that could cause that. So, Henry, you have a dog and a cat.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, tell me about them. I'm a cat and dog lover too. So.
Well, they are my office partners. They are the ones that sort of remind me that I have a life away from the keyboard. When they come and they tell me, hey, we need treats, we need to walk, we need to. We need to do something other than watch you sitting here typing.
And you really get that when that cat jumps up on your desk and walks across the keyboard and lays down on your desk upside down, right?
Yes. She's the best saboteur of them all.
Yeah.
Walks on the keyboard, so, I have these garbled words on whatever I'm writing. She sits on whatever book I have open in front of me. She knocks down everything that is around me. Yeah, she's great at doing that. And my dog is great at doing guilt trips, sitting there and sighing and looking at me like, come on, let's go, let's do it.
It's my turn.
You've been sitting here the whole day, come on.
Yeah.
So, he brings me toys and, like, okay, it's playtime now. And they don't take no for an answer.
They don't. No is not actually part of the vocabulary when it comes to things like that. That is for sure. So, gosh, Henry, this has been really an interesting interview, and you've really inspired me with all your research. And actually, as I mentioned before, just going out there and doing the training, it really hands-on experience. I mean, that is just I marvel at that. So. But let's tell our listening audience your website address.
Oh, they can find me at www.sleepersrun, that is separated by a hyphen.com.
All right.
And that's my blog. That they can find places where they can actually buy my book. Mm-hmm. They can see the trailer. There's a whole thing there, and they can also link from there to either Facebook or Twitter when I post news and updates.
Great. So there you go, listeners. It's sleepers-run.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, listeners, the name of the book is Sleepers Run, and we've been talking to Henry Mosquera. And as if you've heard so far, this has been really interesting, and I encourage you to read the book. Our reviewer really liked it, and now after talking to Henry, I'm understanding why, because, as we talked in this interview, Henry actually went out and learned how his character is going to act and react. And, this is just, it as I mentioned, I marvel at that. So, Henry, thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
This has been really great. And again, listeners, the book title is Sleepers Run, and the author is Henry Mosquera. And this is Inside Scoop Live, Irene Watson, your host. Thanks for listening. Come again. Bye for now.